Welcome back to the Centered on Buffalo podcast. This week, we are joined by Nick Stubbe, a.k.a. Fat Perez. Many of you, I believe, know who he is, and if you don't, you're going to enjoy hearing a little bit more about him. He is a Bills fan, and so we are going to get into a few more of these episodes with Bills fans that have a presence out there, whether it's on social media or whatever it may be. So we're going to bring a few more of these on. This guy has become one of the most popular golfers on the planet. He's a part of the Bob Does Sports group, and you could check out their awesome matches on their YouTube channel. They're all a great follow on social media, but especially my boy FP. They have a clothing line out there right now. It's called Breezy Golf. Check that out. They have some tequila seltzers out right now. They're Have a Day products. So go check out those products, support them. They're an absolute riot. They recently played a golf match with Josh Allen, Kyle Allen, and Sam Darnold. We're going to dig in on Josh Allen's golf game a little bit and see how that match went from his perspective. But I think you guys are really going to enjoy this episode. Thank you for everyone that's been tuning in to the recent episodes with Brandon Bean and Mitch Morse. And if you haven't checked those out, go back and watch those because they're a ton of fun as well. And thank you to everyone who supports the show. Please subscribe, rate, review. Enjoy this one. Let's dig in.
Hit us up on all social media at The Buffalo Pod.
FP, welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks for having me, man. Good to be here.
Dude, voice is a little strained. Big weekend.
Yeah, live Miami, man. I mean, this is how it goes. It's a party down there. That's how it works.
Yeah, I also saw you were with Luke Combs on Instagram playing out at the Grove. How'd that match go?
It was cool, man. Him and I were in the car together, paired up against his boys, and 2v3 got up early, and things didn't go our way, but that's all right. We got another shot at it coming soon.
What type of golfer is Luke Combs?
Luke he loves the game. You know, he's at that point where his iron plays good, learning how to hit a driver. You know, he had the best drive of the day on 18, and I know how that feels. Keeps him coming back.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be back. That's how that goes.
Recently, you posted a rematch video on Bob Does Sports with the quarterbacks, Josh Allen, Kyle Allen, Sam Darnold. And this one didn't go as great for the Bob Does Sports guys. I won't ruin it, and everyone go check out that episode. It's a lot of fun. Josh is extremely entertaining in those episodes. He's a lot of fun to play golf with in general, but he shows out for the camera like he always does. But did they just have a better day, or have they all gotten better since the first time y'all played?
I think it's a combination of lack of preparation on our end, maybe sleeping on the competition. And Kyle Allen, if I'm going to give it to anybody, I'm going to say Kyle Allen is a different golfer than he was the first time around. The guy rips the ball. Josh has been ripping the ball. Darnold's a vibe. Putts guy just makes it happen. But Kyle is a better player than he was the first go around. And we are at best the same on our end. And I'll take some personal responsibility. I wasn't the player that I was the first time. So perfect storm of just all that. And you're going to get beat when that happens.
Yeah, and the massive hangover that you rolled in with might have hurt your game a little bit, but sometimes you got to play under the weather. You can't always wake up, feeling your best on game day. You got to show up, and you guys didn't have it. But it sets up for a great third match to see who wins that rubber match. What's Josh's handicap these days?
I think he's just a good, maybe like 6, I would say.
He's a deadly 6 with that distance and match play, though.
Correct. And he loves the game more than, as much as anybody I've ever met. And he's got some really good golf in him, hits the heck out of the ball. And as a scratch golfer, he's like the worst person you want to give 3 aside to, I would say.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, so if you rated Josh Allen's game on a Madden scale, how would you rate his driving of the golf ball?
I would have power up at like 97, accuracy like 84. Yeah, I mean he's just a big dude. Like, a golf ball doesn't want to see that guy over it, but when he's grooving, he's gonna drive it as good as anybody.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Iron play
is good. I mean, he's just solid, like super solid. Um, 80, 80 on the irons. Wedges are good. He's got good hands. Putting's strong, like 80. Like there's nothing about his game that's like a gap. It's just what's going to turn on today. And if he has it all, he's just going to smoke you.
Yeah, so a lot of it likely comes down to him taking 6 months off a year to go play a game, I guess. I mean, just go play some football for 6
I don't know
months.
what that's all about. If I was, I don't know, he's got to give that football stuff up and focus on golf.
I know. And I don't know if golf could match his current salary. The Bills owner at the new stadium unveiling, they put the final beam in the stadium, and the Bills owner said, well, Josh makes more money than I do now, so maybe he should be up here. But it was a pretty strong quote from Terry Pagula. But during your most recent match, Josh, you had approached Josh about not doing the Euro step, because in the previous episode he talked about it. Do you think we see a Euro step after a touchdown from Josh Allen this year?
Yeah, I mean, him and I got together an off day in training camp at Oak Hill, where my father's from, where he's a member in Rochester. And, he was nice enough to do a one-hole little kind of mini match on Instagram where we put a Euro step celebration on the line. I took that dub on that hole. So, I'm a Bills fan anyway, but all year I'm kind of watching like, all right, okay, he'll do it next game. He'll do the celebration next game. And, I'm not the type of guy that's going to send a text message. I know how Josh is during the year. Right now you can, the guy's going to FaceTime you from a hoopy and ask you where you are. But during the season, he's incommunicado. So I just, it was one of those things, and we got together. I wasn't going to bring it up, but Bob did. And look, there was a commitment on video. First touchdown of the year is a Euro step celebration. So we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to be watching just like I always am.
In Josh's defense, if I'm thinking correctly, I'm trying to think of his first touchdown run of the season. I believe it was, which it might even be better after a pass to do it, but kind of Euro step down to the end zone to greet the guy. But when I think his first touchdown run of the season was when he jumped over Budda Baker. I believe that's the play that he broke his hand. And so probably thinking in that moment, not about the celebration, more about that I just broke my hand. How bad is this? Because no matter what you break, it's not going to feel very good in that moment. So I'll give him a pass on that one. We're going to get back to you being a Bills fan in just a second, but we're going to give a quick shout out to our friends from Waterboy, best electric hydrations on the planet. I bring them out to the golf course with me. We'll get you some sent down, FP. It gets you right after those hangovers. Maybe you roll into the course with from time to time, and the listeners get 20% off. So click the link in the show notes. Go get you some. All right, FP. You mentioned your dad's originally from the Rochester area. Is that where your Bills fandom started?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's from Fairport in Rochester, and he's a fan of a bunch of other sports and all that stuff. But number one has always been the Buffalo Bills. My grandfather was a season ticket holder, and like father like son. You don't really have a choice. I didn't grow up in Rochester or Western New York at all. South Jersey, outside of Philly, and then Virginia. But it didn't matter where I was going to grow up or where I was going to get raised. I was going to be a Bills fan from day one, and that hasn't always been easy.
No.
But you got a quarterback like Josh Allen. Things are looking a little different than they were when I was a kid.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we got to get you to a game this season. Last year in the old stadium, it's a special, special spot. We're going to get you there. I've already talked to some folks with the Bills. You might be able to do some content before the game. We are going to get that done this year. And you mentioned when you got a guy like Josh Allen, everything's going good. Do you think this is the year that the Bills get over the hump and win it all?
I hope so, man. I don't know. It's for me personally, it's a dream. I know for Western New York, this is everything. I'm not sure there's a fan base out there where a Super Bowl would mean more than in Buffalo. And it's like the last year was supposed to be like a rebuilding year, right? Like we retooled on defense and didn't really have the weapons maybe that we thought we would on the offensive side of the ball. And it just feels like as long as Josh and is playing at the level that is, it's just the guy can do whatever has to be done to get W. So I don't know, man. Like he's going against a generational quarterback in the AFC, and it just feels like if he can just get to that Super Bowl, it's our turn. I don't know.
I know. I'm with you. And I have a feeling that this is the year as well. I've liked some of their offseason moves. I'm interested to see who they bring in the draft. There was all that talk about Myles Garrett and Max Crosby, and those guys they get monster deals within their own organization. All good. So we go out and get a Bosa. We bring in a Hoy. We bring in some pieces, and we'll see if those guys can stay healthy and make an impact. Some of these younger guys develop, but I like them. I like their chances. I mean, over the last 5 years, the Bills have been absolutely dominant. Highest point margin of victory in the NFL by a landslide. It's just about getting over the hump in the playoffs. So I think this is the year that we see that done. All right, so let's get into a little golf talk. You had an awesome deal last weekend where you got to play in the LIV Duel. So the LIV Golf Tour, they put together 6 of their team captains with 6 content creators out there. You got to play with Cam Smith. What was playing with Cam Smith like?
I mean, he's just a dog. He's might be one of the best putters in the world.
Yep.
Just a vibe too, like just attitude and everything is just on point. And yeah, it was cool. I mean, the whole thing was just a good time, and it's super unique to, that felt like a YouTube video with pro golfers, as opposed to a pro golf video with YouTubers. So it was a super fun, just vibe and experience.
Yeah, that world is blending quickly, between the pro-ams and the creator classics. That world is blending in the PGA Tour, the LIV Tour. They're smart to do it. I mean, a lot of the most popular golfers on the planet, outside of the top maybe 20, 30 guys on the tour or LIV, they're all making content right now, and it's great for the game, a game that I love. It's great for the game, gets more people involved, and it's funny. Like, even some of the people that poo-pooed on all the content creators early on, they're starting to come around as well. And so it's fun to see. So I got to ask you this, though. And I texted you after the Players deal when you made that putt. Like, what was that like? That was an epic putt. Were you more nervous heading into the Players one or the LIV duels?
I don't know. We've played a lot of golf together. It's I don't really know. Like, I think that I see the nerves in like what happens, but I don't know if I really feel it. I hit a really like pull hook tee shot on the first drive at the Players. I didn't feel nervous, but that was a nervous shot. So I don't really know. Like, to me, if I'm going to do anything in front of a bunch of people, and I could pick it, it would be hit a golf ball. So
Right.
that's sort of where I like settle on that. And I try to like live in that feeling. But I don't know, man. It's it's a wild world, I love golf so much, and it's all these things are just good for the game. Like I feel, my allegiance is to the guys and the people that watch our stuff, and to the game of golf, and that's really it. Whatever we can do to to put out the best content and grow the game, that's everything for us. There's nothing else.
Piggybacking on that, you are now going to be the ambassador for a PGA Tour event coming to Louisville, Kentucky this year, the ISCO Championship, which I am the co-chairman of. What kind of honor is it that you get to be the ambassador for a PGA Tour tournament?
Yeah, I mean, that's super cool, man. Louisville, my father-in-law, his whole side of the family is from Louisville, Ballard High School folk, and I got a lot of friends that are members at Hurstbourne. I've played a lot of golf out there. It's a city I love going to for Thanksgiving or just Derby, whatever it is, and I think it's such a good town, such a good people that every time I ever go there, I'm treated the way that anyone would want to be treated, with that hospitality that you would expect. I like bourbon just as much as anybody else. horse racing. So to me, Louisville it's just such a good spot, and it's cool to see a PGA Tour event land there on a consistent basis, at least for the next, little while, hopefully for the foreseeable future. And not just a one-off major every once in a while. I think it's a market that loves golf, loves a big event, and always shows up and shows what Louisville's all about.
Yep, that's extremely well said. And they love a social event. We're, our messaging around it is this is the Kentucky Derby in July on a golf course. So it's going to be a ton of fun. We're going to have some of the best golfers in the world out there. The pro-ams are going to be fun. The parties are going to be fun. It is going to be one heck of a week. Let's take a moment to hear from one of our sponsors, and that's Dano's Seasoning. They have a new one out right now. It's called the Chili Lime. You've got to go check this one out. Check it out at a retail store near you. Go to danoseasoning.com. This is one of my favorites of the entire lineup. So go check out that Chili Lime. Yum, yum, get you some. All right, so I've been seeing you working out a little bit on social media. How's this health and fitness journey going?
I think well. I'm sure my trainer would like me in the gym a little bit more than I've been. It's tough, life on the road is it's tough to get consistent on it, but yeah, it's it's taken 35 years to get here. It doesn't happen overnight, and correcting that course doesn't happen overnight either. So it's probably the first time in my life I'm really committed to making a change and getting faster, getting smaller. I don't know. I live a wild life that it seems surreal and can't really get any better. And I want to make sure I'm there to do it as long as possible.
Oh, that's great perspective right there. Is there any worry that if you lose too much weight that it'll hurt your image?
Well, it's
It's
I
not a
don't
concern
know.
right now.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I can, only the good die young, I guess. So I don't want to die young. I don't know. It's a double-edged sword there. I can keep rolling down that path or some compromise in the middle. It's either fast or long. I don't know. I don't know what the best course is there.
All right. All right. Well said. We're getting some wisdom here this morning. All right. So we got the Masters coming up this weekend, maybe the greatest week in all of sports. Who would be your pick to win it? And do you have some sleepers out there in the field?
Yeah, it's crazy. Scotty's feels like for the last 18 months the smart way to go. I think Rory is playing unbelievable golf. I don't think there's anyone more motivated to win this golf tournament than him. I at some point it's got to happen. So why not this year? So gun to my head, probably Rory as a favorite. Sleeper pick. Cam Smith's just a heck of a putter. Just with him, the guy's always knocking on that door. A guy like Corey Connors, just like an incredible ball striker, always seems to be up there. Sith the Gala, I don't know. Some of these guys are just sometimes the unexpected frees people up. So it's going to be the hardest golf tournament to win for Rory. And some of these other guys can just kind of fall through the cracks and maybe be there on Sunday.
Last year, I feel like was kind of an anomaly. He struggled in the win. My boy John Rahm won it 2 years ago. I guess I'm allowed to say this on here. I played with him out there. And when you see him manage the course, it's hard for me to imagine him ever putting up big numbers like he did last year on Friday. A lot of that was the wind, and you hit a couple bad shots with that wind out there, and the misses are just absolutely painful. So I'd love to see my boy Rahm up there towards the top of the leaderboard again this year, maybe win it. And he also has posted like 20 something consecutive straight rounds, not over par in the LIV Tour. People will say, well, it's the LIV Tour, this and that. No one else has done it over there. And there's big dogs like DeChambeau and everybody's, they got their names over there as well. So he's been on an impressive run. Like to see my boy Rombo back up there again. All right, we're going to get into some rapid fire questions here. Number one, what was the toughest eating or drinking challenge in 9 holes that you have done on the Bob Dust Sports channel?
I would say it's either the dozen donut challenge or milk and cookies in 95-degree weather in Sarasota. This is one of those.
What type of donuts were they?
We went to Tim Hortons in Canada, so like big legit donuts, not
Yeah.
Krispy Kreme. Unfortunately, I wish it was.
Listeners of this show will know the Tim Hortons reference there. What's a dream course for you that you haven't played yet?
I mean, there's the big boys that are obvious that feels like Voldemort and that shouldn't be named, but National Golf Links for me out in Long Island is one I've always had my eye on.
That's a special spot. They say it's the best match play course in the country. Very interesting tidbit about National Golf Links. They have a telescope in like the breakfast room. And you're like, oh, is that to watch stars or what is this? And it was so back in the day, they could look out and see who was coming in by boat. And if they needed to send the forces out there to stop them, that's how protected this little area was. So tons of history there. The original locker room is just out of this world. That is an extremely special spot. I've been on a Make-A-Wish tour of golf these last few years. You talk about living faster, living long. I keep making the joke to people. My wife absolutely hates it that I'm dying. I just don't know it. And so people keep treating me to these incredible experiences. And so we'll see what comes to fruition out of this. What are your top 3 courses that you have played already?
I would say Marion in Philly, Oak Hill East in Rochester is just an unbelievable golf course, means a lot to me as well. So those 2 are definitely there. And then maybe the Creek on Long Island, I think, was incredible.
Nice. Solid lineup there. What's your favorite meal so far in Jupiter, Florida?
Tiki 52's got a really good buffalo chicken wrap.
Okay. That's one I haven't been to yet. I'm gonna have to check that out. I believe I've been to Tiki 52 for like late night acoustic show or something, but I haven't eaten there yet. Just a couple cervezas down at that spot. Have you eaten wings in Buffalo yet?
I had wings at Anchor Bar, I believe. But what is that? Barbell? Barbell. I've heard from some people that's the real spot. So
yeah,
I've heard from a lot of people, a lot of spots. But I was up there very briefly, and Anchor Bar just felt like the easy choice.
It's the easy choice. It's the touristy choice. If that makes sense, the original chicken wing, I feel like they don't try that hard anymore, that or it's mismanaged or something. Cause I've had very inconsistent experiences there and it's okay. They're not a friend or sponsor of the show. So we can have honest opinion. We can have honest opinions here. Have you had a beef on weck yet?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Okay. So it's famous buffalo sandwich, having a lot of the wing spots. It's roast beef, generally cut in-house on a Kimmelweck roll. So like a salted and ride roll. It's pretty special. Put some horseradish on there. Some people do au jus, special sandwich. So we'll knock out all the wing spots, all the beef on wax when we do our Buffalo tour, when we get you in. All right. Last question for me. We're 1-1, me and Bobby Fairways versus you and Cold Cuts. Who wins the rematch?
I mean, look, I'm not, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm going to lose. So, I'm going to go out there and get that dub. It's going to be a fun day regardless.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We had Bobby making a par from the straw on a 45-yard chip in last time. We had some strong forces in our favor. The first time you shot 30 on the front at Medalist, it was the most impressive 9 holes by an amateur I've seen in person. So that was a tough round for me and Bobby, but looking forward to the rematch. It always pains me how much better you play my home course down in Florida than I do, but it's always a fun day and we are going to do it a whole lot more, brother. I appreciate your time. I know Bills fans are going to enjoy this. They love the golf talk, especially Masters Week, but we touched on some Bills stuff as well. So thank you for hopping on the show, brother.
100%. Thanks for having me, bro. I'll see you soon.